Kicked my boyfriend out after discovering he deliberately lied about my missing dog and still demanded a makeup day for his birthday. I F35 love the booger, but my goodness. Last week, she got out of the backyard while I was busy cooking my BF's dinner for his birthday. My boyfriend Mike M40, let the dog out during this time and didn't stay out with the digging asshole. When I went to call her back in, she was nowhere to be found. I live in an active city on an active road and I naturally was worried about her, but my BF she said should fine, as we are well known in the neighborhood for our clockwork walks and someone will see her and bring her back. I went out to look for her anyway but couldn't find her. I didn't find her for 48 hours and I was crying from the stress. She's been my dog for 7 years and I know it sounds odd to some, but she's my girl, my bestie, and love the shit out of her. I would sob worrying she was injured or worse on the side of the road. BF said he tried to track the microchip but it for some reason wouldn't work and her leash had a tag on it with her location, but BF didn't put it on her because, as he explained, she was just going outside. I have a new neighbor, a F30 something Josie, and turned out she had my dog. She found her tagless wandering her yard 3 doors down from me and didn't know her or me at all, so took her to the local vet who recognized my girl, and called me. So my little shit was returned to me. I was overjoyed and was thanking Josie profusely, explaining how worried I was, and my BF audibly sighed from behind me and said, well, thank fuck that's over. She ruined my birthday with that stunt. When Josie saw him she looked confused but didn't say anything until I walked her out. She told me, you might not believe me but he told me last night that you don't have pets. I was confused by this and kind of didn't believe her, but it nagged at me, so I checked our doorbell cam footage and there it was clear as day. While I was out looking for my dog, Josie is showing him a photo and asking if he knew this dog, and he said no, that we don't have dogs, and suggested calling animal control. I woke my BF up as he was asleep by this point on the couch and questioned him about this, and he denied it, saying Josie is trying to stir up trouble. I have my dog, so things go back to normal now. And he slipped in that he deserves a makeup day for his ruined birthday. When I told him about the footage, I could see him get really still and then he admitted to it. He said my dog is old, she's 8, so he was trying to spare me since she will probably die soon and he wants us to think about the future, not the past, and my dog is indicative of my past. I told him this made 0 sense to me. He saw me damn near fall apart worried about my dog, and now I can't so much as trust he didn't have anything more to do with her disappearing. He lost it at that, saying he just knew I would find a way to blame him for this, and shouted, you love that bitch more than you love me. I told him that he's the bitch and a coward for lying and not being honest about clearly not liking my dog for the past year. Then I asked him to leave. He stared at me like, you're really going to kick me out right now over a dog? And I said absolutely, and he cussed me out and went to his place. I haven't read the texts he's been sending me, but it's been a lot of them. He's been gone 7 hours and I have 27 text notifications from him. He's talked to my brother, Blair, who called me to tell me I hurt Mike for caring more about an animal than him and not being able to just shut the fuck up, be an adult, and celebrate my BF's birthday. I'm confused because we've been together a bit over a year and I spoiled the shit out of him. We met because of my dog, and he seemed to really adore her this entire time. My brother, though, doesn't much like me these days, so I can't really tell if he's right and I'm the or he and Mike are just an Oz. So Ada? UPD, 8-1. After my post, my BF showed up at my door the next day with flowers and dog treats. I didn't let him in but talked through my screen door. He said he had time to think and was ashamed of his behavior and very sorry. He explained that he had abandonment issues and got scared when a friend put the idea in his head that I love my dog more than him. The friend, turns out, is my brother Blair. I told him I wasn't ready to deal with him yet and he asked why not, and I explained from my perspective everything sort of like my last post, and then added that he shows up without letting me know he was coming and he didn't let me even speak, just launched into this grand apology. When I said I don't trust him right now, he started crying, and I mean the ugly hysterical kind. He said this stemmed from his mother leaving the family. From what I know of the story, she walked out on him and his family when he was 13, and that I am his person and he loves me and just lost his mind a little. It's one mistake, I'm sorry. He kept saying it over and over, and maybe I am a broken person, but I didn't feel anything in the moment. I watched him crying and saying sorry and basically groveling, and I just wasn't having any of it. I said we need to talk, but I wasn't ready to have that talk at the moment and need space. He begged me to let him in and only left when some neighbors came by to ask if everything was okay, and he just snapped and told them to fuck off and left. Not sure what I am even doing anymore or what I will do with him or my brother. For now I am just sitting on a local restaurant patio with my doggo sipping margaritas and trying not to cry. WTF. Update 2. Hi. It's your super messy friend with her super dick ex, not super dick in the fun sense. I don't much want to get into it but kinda need to vent to, and some of you / most of you have been really helpful / insightful / kind, so. Mike has been weaving the narrative that I am mentally ill. He knows I suffer from depressio and in PTSD, and for whatever reason he is saying I was / am a misdiagnosed schizophrenic. It was relentless. And Blair and Dad have been backing him. It got to the point that I had had enough and hired a lawyer. Cease and desists, and 1 retraining order. My father is such a psycho, long story, later, and Mike is back on my doorstep. He is now demanding that Booger is his dog too, and he has rights to her, and he is worried about her safety with such a mentally unstable parent, me, it seems. So I said, oh, did I mention this is all through the Dorcam? That I now have footage, again, of him being the unstable one, and his weird manipulative threat on top of me having actual footage of him saying he doesn't even have a pet would debunk him. I don't know all of what happened because feed cut out, but it looks like the man lost his fucking mind and dismantled my Ring cam. At least without my other cameras he did not know were then installed showing him doing so. Good thing I have a lawyer. Update 3. This is gonna be long because I am so fucking livid. TLDR, Mike is making breaking up utter hell and stole my dog. Now, I've had to move for my and my dog's safety. Has it even been 2 weeks? But now this. A single fucking day after my last post, I was packing up for an impromptu trip Arya was taking me on, partly to help me relax and partly to get me the hell out of that damn house so my father, brother, and ex would not know where I was. As such, I got Booger to the groomers. We planned to be away a while and she was due anyway. I thought I was being a responsible dog mom. And I'm an idiot because I was so frazzled about everything else, I completely forgot to tell them that Mike is not permitted anymore to pick her up. So I go to run errands while Booger got her spa treatments. Don't you dare judge me, she deserves a spa treatment every once in a while. Being a couch potato is stressful, grueling work, you know, and when I return I am told by the front desk that your who span picked her up. I swear to you my voice simply stopped existing. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. I just crumpled to the ground and sobbed. He knew the groomer, knew the staff, he would sometimes pick her up for me back when we were together and I didn't protect my baby by preempting this. How could I have been so fucking stupid? His life mission is getting rid of her. It should have been one of the first things I did. I removed him everywhere else, and I don't know I missed this. The staff had come around the desk to help me to a chair and I just wailed. I think I managed to say enough. The police were called and I could barely speak even to them. They asked if there was someone I could call. Any family, and I cried more. I have no one. If anything my father and maybe brother would help Mike do this. I managed to think and call Arya and she was on her way, but it was then I looked at my phone. He had texted me. The fucker actually texted me. Starting with "Hi, baby," as if everything that happened in all this time was absolutely non-existent. He said not to worry. He is Booger as he picked her up for you. And he is cooking us dinner at his and I can pick her up after dinner. Then he ended it with "love you." It was so unfucking believable I could only just show the cops. One of them asked if they can look through my chat history and I said yes and unlocked all the features and she did. I had forgotten all the abusive, manipulative, and awful things that moron texted me because the cop just pulled a colleague aside and showed him the screen a few times. I saw him look back at me a couple times and he left the building. When he returned he asked me if I had called the police about Mike before and I said yes. He went through all the times I called in and I confirmed and told him some of it verbally then. Arya arrived and she gave her own rendition of the situation and stuck it to them that we did everything we were supposed to do by calling them about his and we were told they would not help. If Booger is hurt she will raise an unholy inferno over their useless department. She started to take charge in the absence of my ability to and asked what they planned to do. They needed paperwork. Booger's papers are all in my name and the groomer is attached to the vet who provided the adoption and intake paperwork of Booger, which proved I was her sole owner legally. THR police went to his home to get Booger, and what I understand to have happened, because I was not there and was only told the official story, Mike let them in, showed the dinner he made. He seemed confused and didn't understand why the police were involved. He made it out that we had a bad spat but we're working it out, but I am mentally unstable and heavily medicated, and I told him of the groomer's appointment and asked him to pick my dog up. They asked where Booger was and he said he didn't have her anymore as my family picked her up so that he and I can have a private intimate night to make up and work on our relationship. I was home waiting and I had to deal with another cop coming by and asking me about my mental health and if I am a danger to myself or anyone, because Mike said that he is concerned that I am unpredictable and abusive. Once again I showed the texts and some footage of it being the polar opposite, and once again I explained that all of what I was showing him and more I've already turned over to the police. By now, I had reached my lawyer who advised I answer any and all questions pertaining to this specific situation, getting my dog back, and nothing more, so I shut up and simply provided info necessary to this. They found Booger at Blair's, but now Blair had his own story. That I was mentally unstable and unable to care for her, so I asked him to take Booger to a shelter as I didn't have the heart to do it myself. He couldn't provide any proof, so they took Booger with them and brought her home. Booger came for me immediately, straining against the leash to get to me, and I cried on my front step apologizing to her as if she understood what all just happened. But she was happy and excited. I bet she loved being in a cop cruiser. She just was happy to be alive per usual. The policewoman who handed me her leash gave us information on where to get the paperwork about today's events and said she cannot offer me legal advice, but to be sure to lock everything up tonight and to call if anything happens. I did take Booger to the vet and the tests that have come back show she is perfectly fine. I've now packed up the majority of my house and what is not in storage has been moved to Arya's. I am working on preparing to sell it. I can't even imagine going back to that damn place. Mike left me a voicemail lamenting that I sicked the police on him when all he ever tried to do was love me. How patient he has been with my mental illness and my obsession with my mutt. But he now is seeing that my father was right. I don't deserve him. I will never find anyone like him who will love me because I don't deserve love. And when I realize what I've lost all due to my self-centered attitude, I better hope he hasn't moved on. But he's there if I ever decided to grow up and be a real woman and try to fix this with him. But he's not going to wait around forever. An emergency protective order was pushed through, thanks to my lawyer. From Mike and Blair. Blair was stupid enough to blow up my phone after the police took Booger to berate me. I don't know what he said as I just forwarded everything to my lawyer, but either apparently was enough. My father lost it, I'm told, but I wouldn't know. He doesn't know where I am and has no way to reach me now. Mike is trying to reverse my domestic abuse complaints and say I am the one abusing him, and that's why he fled to his place. He maintains that I asked him to take Booger and Blair is backing him up. My lawyer says not to worry because no one is taking the claim seriously since we have so much overwhelming documentation of both of them harassing me. I've been at Aria's and we're taking the trip tomorrow. Booger is a road dog and loves car rides, so I know she will be very excited. The city we are going to is incredibly dog friendly, so she will be with us every step of the way. I'm not letting her out of my sight. Aria helped me go through every bit of info and make sure Mike is removed off everything now. All Booger's appointments, all my medical paperwork, all package sign-offs, you name it. All mail and packages are being rerouted to Aria's and Mike doesn't know where that is. She has another home she rents out as an Airbnb, so once the current tenants are out, she is setting me up to stay there until I find a new job out of town and move. I'm just glad to have her with me right now because I haven't been able to sleep. I have barely been able to even be around food, let alone eat it. Booger was gone for maybe a total of 5 hours as a whole, but I swear to God it was like a lifetime. I've set virtual appointments with my counseling team and might need to get something to help me sleep. But last night Booger lopped up into the bed with me and just plopped down and snuggled beside me. I think she knows I am stressed and the only clear cure is cuddles. She's not entirely wrong. My mind is racing because what would have happened if I didn't already have a lawyer pushing the return of my dog along, or Aria who was speaking up for me when I was a useless fucking blob pee on the floor crying and accomplishing absolutely nothing. I feel like a failure because it was the time for me to get things done and all I did was cry like a child. Booger deserves better than me. What if he had decided in those hours to just get rid of her or do worse to her? What was his whole plan? And why the fuck would Blair help him? I know he hates me, but Jesus Christ. All I know for now, if I'm NC with all three of those bastards and by the time my protective order is up for our review next month, new job or no, I will have yanked every root I placed down here and get the fuck out of here. Update 4. Mike, Blair, and Dad have stepped it up. In the past 3 days alone, this is what's happened. My father has posted in several groups on several social media pages a photo of me, asking if anyone has seen me as I have gone missing. He's put my medical information out there regarding my mental health and stretched the truth so hard I'm surprised he didn't pull a muscle. In his narrative I am off my meds, acting irrationally, and have now gone missing after attacking my brother. My lawyer has told me not to worry, and that she will have the police take care of it because he is violating his restraining order by doing this. I've been getting calls and texts from multiple numbers. The messages are mostly the same: I don't deserve love. WHRN, I was raped, it was my fault. PR made up because who would want me? I need to take what I can get. I'm embarrassing, insane, unstable, need medications, and on and on. I know one of them either was my dad or sent by my dad because his favorite insult, "You're a waste of space and time," came up more than once. He used to say that to me when I was growing up if I didn't do what he said or tried to change my look in any way. I would cry and then he would hit me and tell me that my mother was resilient and why can't I be? He'd call me weak and tell me crying is abusive to him because I was trying to emotionally manipulate him. He hurled it at me when he slapped me for coming out as bisexual, and I ended up apologizing to him for his emotional distress because he said he couldn't believe my mother died to give me life just for me to waste it. Sorry, that was a vent. Should I pay you by the hour, Doc? My family on my dad's side have also been coming out of the woodworks to harass me and tell me how bad of a GF, sister, or daughter I am. Some have been fed distorted renditions of what actually happened. Blair told a cousin that I abused Booger and he tried to take her to keep her safe. My cousin didn't believe him because she knows Blair and Dad and how they treated me. She called me only to tell me what was happening, and she also sent me an email to forward to my lawyer. Yesterday I got another text telling me to end myself. I guess that was the breaking point for me because I was gasping for air, trying to keep myself upright, and Aria had sat me down and gotten me my anxiety medication to calm me down. It's unrelenting. I almost spiraled back into self-harm. Aria kept me company and we went to every stop on her itinerary for the day. I was able to breathe after a while. Between her and Booger, I was in good company. I got back to therapy tomorrow morning. I swear I'm going to put my therapist on THR Fortune 500 list with this laundry list of issues. Blair isn't permitted to talk to me and neither is Mike or my father. But I keep worrying they will pop up somewhere. It's hard to even think this is all over an 8-year-old cuddle bug who literally doesn't have a bad bone on her wiggly body. Blair has never been this bad before, and it's not that long ago I thought Mike loved me and would never hurt me. I feel like I'm going as crazy as they are trying to make me out to be. I have no idea how to even go into work tomorrow like nothing happened. I already emailed our HR rep about the situation in case they try to pull some sort of stunt. I'm paranoid and keep looking around expecting them to be right behind me. All I can do is keep cuddling Booger, and hold fast to Aria and her partner Beth, who have been a dream. Good thing I didn't figure out how to add this to my last post because now that it's written out, it's longer than I expected. Sorry. Update 5. I'm sorry you have to go through this. Please stop reading these nasty messages, just delete whatever is sent from unknown numbers. They can't be used in court anyway and they obviously do you no good. Stay strong.